Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because it's good to get us out of our head, visualizing something, good to get us back with our senses. We did touch last week, and a lot of you found that very engaging, very calming, very focusing. So this is a kind of, we're using taste. We're using the sensations in our mouth, flavors, all those sorts of things as our subject to inspire what color we pick up, what brush, what direction. But there is another aspect to it, like the touch, where the reality of what we're doing is that, unlike a photograph where you're freezing one moment in time, bang, split second, you've got an image taken out of context. What we're doing often is much more layered than that, much more layered, particularly if you are responding over time to your subject, whether it be somebody sitting for you to draw, looking at yourself, walking in the landscape. It is not about that one split second, because it's evolving. It's evolving and changing and moving by itself, but also you are noticing and experiencing things in layers. And it's those layers that are going down on the painting. Now, we are naturally quite impatient, anxious to see what happens. We want the image to appear. We're quite hard on ourselves. But actually, a painting happens over time, and the first layers of your painting, the first marks, are all valid. They're all good. Some of them might stay visible right to the end, but many of them, a huge proportion of them, will just become part of the melange of beautiful layers of experience that builds to create the final image. So there's an acceptance there. And I'm saying this to myself as well. It's like, it's all part of the evolution of the painting. Each layer is valid, each layer is important, and each layer is making me see more and connect more to my subject. So this little experience we're having here is about unpacking, layering, and appreciating each aspect of your subject. We don't know yet which aspect of the subject is the most important one, the one that will come to the surface, the one that will be the final layer, the one that will kind of clinch the deal. And neither should we know. That's the whole point of painting. We're finding out. If you start with know what you're going to paint about, what's the point, in my view? But, you know, other painters will have a different feeling about it. But if you want expressive paintings, we are finding out as we paint. So therefore, we have to accept this roller coaster to a certain degree. We have to kind of begin to try and learn to enjoy this not knowing. Okay, so without any more ado, really, and again, you're all going to have different things to eat. So watching me may not be that much help. So I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to give us a good amount of time to do this. We're going to start eating. Now, I'm already holding it in my fingers. So in a way, the experience has already started, even though I'm not going to eat. I'm not eating it as yet. So you could even pick up whatever it is you've chosen to eat in a moment. And just, again, feel it in your fingers. It's not so much about the look. Again, we're not trying to replicate what it looks like, because we're about to destroy it. It's about to go in our mouths, and we're tasting each aspect of it. But nevertheless, it has a temperature, chilly in my case, and it has some kind of shape, and its outer casing, in my case, again, is quite leathery, quite firm, resistant, therefore not very ripe, but a little bit of give. It has a color, obviously, already. But again, from experience, I know that when I start to bite into this, the color that might spring to mind for the experience and the flavor will not necessarily match the color that it actually is. So I need to be open to that. So again, we're painting the experience, not a visualization of what we know it looks like if we cut it open. So each moment you question and go, oh, is that a lime green that I'm tasting? Might be a purple flesh, but the flavor, the experience might be something else. Each little moment as you roll it, if it's something you can just pop in your mouth and roll around, as your teeth cut the skin, that is a mark, that is a sensation. Put that down. And as we did for the holding the object in the hand, it's not about necessarily separating out these bits of information. We're piling them as we paint. We sort of make them touch one another, make them accumulate, because it's about one piece of fruit, the experience of eating one piece of fruit. Okay, so if you've done that and you're kind of thinking about that, what we're going to do now together is begin to paint. You've got all your tools, you've got your rags, you've got your fingers, you've got your brushes, you've got different consistencies. So it's all there. And you're just going to have to think and respond and decide which tool, which consistency feels right in each given moment. All right, then. I'm going to shut up, but I probably will talk a little bit. But I'm going to give us a bit of time. I'm going to give us, I don't know. I think I might just give us 5 minutes for now and just see how we're doing, because I want you to focus. And I am actually going to be quiet. Right. Just another minute. Keep it steady. Don't need to rush. Okay. Almost finished eating it. Okay, so pause. Have a look at your painting and see what you think. Hopefully that was kind of, I mean, it wasn't very long, but hopefully long enough for you to take each experience, savor it, find a nice mark, put it down. And it changed even certain aspects of the flesh. The initial taste, there was a sweetness, which was nice. And then after a while, that sweetness went for me. So it was more the texture. And then even as how I ate it, whether again, it was just like a gingerly kind of just a little taste or a bite that changed the weight of a mark, that kind of thing. We're going to do it again. So I've got yet another fig. It's going to be good for me, isn't it? Plenty of fiber today. And I'm probably influenced by what I've done in the first one. There are aspects of it I like, but I'm going to try and take it as a fresh experience if I can. But what I am going to do, because I sort of not quite randomly chose colours, I was choosing colours which, definitely reflected the sweetness and the savouriness and the toughness and the fleshiness. I was definitely choosing colours. This time, I'm probably going to choose similar colours because it's the same kind of subject, but I'm going to see if I can intensify the colour a little bit so that my pinks and my fleshy colours and my liminess, I was beginning to, but I'm going to see if I can make the colour give back a little bit more. So I'm going to invite you to do the same, or if that's too much to think about, just do the exercise again. Maybe the order you put things down changes. Maybe the tools you pick up, maybe it feels entirely different. I don't know, because it's going to be your experience. I think a similar length of time, I think that seemed to work quite well. So 5 minutes-ish, I think. And again, I'm going to be quiet to give you time to relax into it and have your own dialogue, not my chatter. Good. Okay, so maybe practice number 2 might really, now you know what's coming, might help you kind of relax into it even more. Good. Okay, one thing I did enjoy, my mind started with me just pressing it to my lips. And you do realise, of course, that my lips and my skin is part of the painting as well. I'm not just painting a fig. So you are part of this painting as well. What's happening, your mouth, your skin, your lips are a motif in themselves. Good. Right, I am shutting up now.
You haven't even bitten into it.
No, I haven't bitten it yet. One more minute. Okay. Wow, different painting entirely. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about you. I really enjoyed that. It's sort of, again, it's the quietness of it. It's the moment by moment that I found enjoyable. And when I look at my two paintings side by side, I mean, there is a commonality as to a certain extent, but I think second time round, I was picking up more information actually, and giving myself time to adjust a color, to really, really think about, was I just putting pink down because that's what I know the middle of the fruit looks like, or was the pink valid? Was it kind of that sharp sweetness? So I adjusted the pink several times over, and then the pink started to change because of the temperature, because all those things. And then which bit of experiences at one given moment, where were they? On the edge of my mouth? Were they just, I don't know. Yeah. So I began to kind of play and open things out and join things together. Yeah, in a way that I really enjoyed. I actually quite like them both as little responses. And as I said, with the holding the object in the hand, I've often thought it would be lovely to do a whole series of paintings just about the experience of touch or the experience of taste as little. This is a painting about a fig being eaten. It's a painting of a fig being eaten. That's what it is. It's not a fig. It's the experience of eating a fig, but it's still very much figgy. It's about the figginess of fig. Anyway, and all that sort of stuff. But it's good. It's good. I think it's exciting. So interesting for you to do. Hopefully got you into a nice sort of calm state. That's what I'm hoping. And again, do look at the colours, the way the colours have evolved. Perhaps have new colours come in your second one, or have they stayed pretty much the same? Yeah, there's things about this I really like. My first one, Through the Dark, I put this kind of acid yellow line through the dark line, so that it has a kind of real, acidity, vibrancy, depth, three-dimensional quality to it. I might, if I had more time, I would have maybe put a yellow line within my green line I've got there to make that three-dimensional acid punch that comes through.